Commander Lee Hanna stood on the bridge of the New Dawn and looked at the planet below. Kepler 442c was beautiful. Blue oceans covered half the world. Green continents spread between them like islands. White clouds drifted across the surface in slow circles. "Scans are complete, Commander," said Captain Parkday from his station. "No signs of intelligent life. The planet is perfect for mining." Hanna nodded. Earth needed the rare metals buried in this world. The home planet was running out of resources. Millions of people depended on missions like this one. She had brought 200 colonists and her best crew to make it work. Dr. Kim Sora. "What do your tests show?" Hanna asked the chief scientist. "The mineral deposits are even better than we hoped," Sora replied. "We could extract enough platinum and rare earth elements to supply Earth for 10 years. The atmosphere is breathable. Gravity is only slightly higher than Earth normal." "Perfect," Hanna said. "Begin landing operations. Set up the main base near the largest deposit." The next 3 days went smoothly. Colonists established their settlement in the valley between 2 hills. The mining equipment worked without problems. Everyone was happy. Hey, they had found a new world for humanity. Hanna walked through the mining site on the 3rd morning. The big machines dug deep holes in the red soil. Conveyor belts carried chunks of ore to the processing plant. Workers in protective suits operated the controls from safe distances. "Commander, you should see this," called Engineer Choi Min-ho. He was young and eager, always excited about new discoveries. Hanna walked over to him. "What did you find?" "These metal formations are not natural," Min-ho said, pointing at strange patterns in the rock. "Look at these lines. Guard too straight, too perfect." Before Hanna could answer, alarms started ringing across the site. Red lights flashed on. Every building. Workers stopped what they were doing and looked around in confusion. "Captain Park," Day's voice came through the communication system. "All personnel to emergency stations. Unknown ships approaching from orbit." Hanna ran to the command center. Through the windows, she could see dark shapes moving across the sky. The ships were unlike anything humans had built. They were long and curved like giant snakes with wings. "How many ships?" she asked. 15 vessels, Day replied. "They appeared from nowhere. Our sensors did not detect them until they were already in the atmosphere." The alien ships landed in a circle around the human settlement. They were bigger up close. Each ship was twice the size of the New Dawn. Steam rose from their hulls as they cooled in the planet's air. Hanna grabbed her weapon belt and communication device. "All military personnel, prepare for contact. Civilians, stay in your shelters. Do not come out until I give the all clear." The first aliens to emerge were tall and reptilian. Their scales were dark green with gold markings. They walked on 2 legs like humans, but moved with a strange grace. Each alien wore armor that seemed to flow like liquid metal. They carried weapons that hummed with energy. The leader of the aliens was larger than the others. Scars covered his face and arms. His armor was more elaborate, decorated with symbols that looked like ancient writing. He walked straight toward the command center where Hanna was waiting. "I am Krekstar, War Chief of the Vorthok," the alien said. His voice was deep and harsh. He spoke perfect English, which surprised Hanna. "You have defiled our sacred ground." "I am Commander Lee Hanna of the Earth Colonial Fleet," she replied. "We detected no intelligent life on this planet. Our scans showed it was uninhabited." "Your scans are primitive," Krekstar said. "This world belongs to the Vorthok. It has been ours for 1,000 years. The ancestors of my people are buried in these hills." Hanna looked at the strange metal patterns Min-ho had found. Now she understood. They were not natural formations. They were ancient structures buried by time. "We did not know," she said. "We can discuss this peacefully." Perhaps we can share the planet. It is large enough for both our peoples. Krekstar made a sound that might have been laughter. Humans are weak. Humans are small. You cannot survive among the stars. You should return to your little world and stay there. We cannot do that, Hannah said firmly. Earth needs these resources. Our people will die without them. Then your people will die, Krekstar said. The attack came without warning. Vorthak warriors opened fire with their energy weapons. Beams of superheated plasma cut through the air. Human soldiers dove for cover behind mining equipment and prefabricated buildings. Hannah drew her weapon and fired back. Her bullets bounced off the alien's armor like raindrops. The Vorthak weapons were far superior to human technology. Fall back to the shelters, she ordered through her radio. Protect the civilians. The battle raged for 2 hours. Human weapons were nearly useless against Vorthak armor. The aliens advanced steadily through the settlement. They destroyed buildings and equipment as they moved forward. Hannah found herself defending the main shelter where 50 civilians were hiding. 3 Vorthak warriors approached the entrance. She was the only thing standing between them and the innocent people inside. Krekstar appeared behind his warriors. Stand aside, human. You cannot stop us. I will not let you hurt them, Hannah said. Krekstar activated a weapon, unlike the others. It looked like a sword made of pure energy. The blade glowed with white-hot plasma. You are brave for a primitive creature, he said. But bravery is not enough. Hannah rushed at him with her combat knife. She was fast and well-trained. A Krekstar, which faster, the alien warrior moved like lightning. Kay's plasma blade swept through the air. Pain exploded through Hannah's body. She looked down and saw her right arm falling to the ground. Blood poured from the wound at her shoulder. The world spun around her as shock set in. She collapsed to her knees. Krekstar stood over her, his weapon still glowing. Humans do not belong among the stars, he said. You are weak. You are fragile. Go back to your world and never return. The Vorthak withdrew as quickly as they had attacked. They took their ships and disappeared into space. The surviving humans gathered their wounded and returned to the new dawn in the medical bay. Dr. Sora worked desperately to save Hannah's life. The wound is too severe for regeneration, she said. Can stop the bleeding and prevent infection. But I cannot grow back her arm, okay? As Hannah drifted in and out of consciousness, she could see the planet through the window. It looked peaceful again, beautiful. But now she knew it belonged to someone else. Someone who saw humans as insects to be crushed. When she was strong enough to stand, Hannah walked to the observation deck. She stared at the world below, with her remaining hand pressed against the glass. The Vorthak had taken everything from her. Her arm, her mission, her pride. But they had made one mistake, okay? They had let her live. We will return, she whispered to the empty stars. And when we do, things will be different. The new dawn turned away from Kepler 4 to see, and began its long journey back to human space. Heron sat at her desk and began to draw. With her left hand, she sketched designs for something new, something better, something that would make the Vorthak regret their words about human weakness. The war had just begun. 6 months had passed since the defeat at Kepler 4 to see. The new dawn drifted in space between star systems. Far from any inhabited world, Commander Lee Hanna had transformed the ship's main engineering bay into something that looked like a mad scientist's laboratory. Tables covered in strange parts filled the room. Pieces of Vorthak technology sat next to human computer chips. Wires and cables ran everywhere like electronic vines. The air smelled of hot metal and electrical burns. Hannah worked 18 hours every day. She barely slept. She barely ate. Her remaining arm moved constantly, welding pieces together, testing circuits, making adjustments. The stub of her right shoulder ached, but she ignored the pain. Captain Parkday stood in the doorway, watching her work. He had been worried about his commander for months. Hannah, you need to rest. Dr. Sora says you are pushing yourself too hard. I cannot rest, Hannah said, without looking up from her workbench. Every day we wait is another day. They think they have one. What exactly are you building? They asked, stepping closer. Hannah picked up a metal frame that was roughly the size and shape of a human arm. But it was not like any prosthetic he had ever seen. The frame was made of some kind of dark alloy. Tiny lights blinked along its surface. Small motors and actuators were built into the joints. This will be better than what I lost, she said. Stronger, faster, more precise. She connected a power cable to the arm and activated it. The fingers moved smoothly, bending and straightening, like real fingers. But when Hannah commanded it to grip a steel rod, the mechanical hand crushed the metal like paper. Impressive, Day said, but how will you control it? Hannah turned and showed him a small device attached to her shoulder. Thin wires ran from it directly into her nervous system. Neural interface, she explained. I can control the arm with my thoughts, just like my original arm. Dr. Kim Sora entered the workshop, carrying a cup of coffee and a plate of food. You missed lunch again, she said, setting them down near Hannah's workstation. I do not have time for lunch, Hannah replied, but she gratefully took a sip of the coffee. Sora examined the mechanical arm. As the ship's chief scientist, she understood the complexity of what Hannah was building. The power requirements alone should be impossible. How are you generating enough energy? Microfusion cells, Hannah said, pointing to small cylindrical objects embedded in the arm's forearm section. I reverse engineered them from Vorthok weapon fragments. You figured out alien fusion technology in 6 months, Stora asked, amazed. Had motivation, Hannah said simply. Young engineer Choi Minho rushed into the workshop, excited as always. Commander, I finished the neural mapping you requested. The interface should be ready for testing. Hannah nodded. She had been preparing for this moment for weeks. The arm was mechanically perfect, but connecting it to her nervous system was the most dangerous part. If something went wrong, she could suffer permanent brain damage. Are you sure about this? Day asked. We could wait until we reach a proper medical facility. We are not going anywhere until this is finished, Kina said firmly. Dr. Sora prepared the surgical equipment while Minho made final adjustments to the neural interface. The procedure took 3 hours and it was complete. The mechanical arm was permanently attached to Hannah's shoulder. She opened her eyes and looked at her new limb. It looked alien and human at the same time. The metal was polished to a mirror finish. The joints moved with perfect silence. When she concentrated, she could feel the arm as if it had always been part of her body. How does it feel? Sora asked. Hannah flexed her new fingers. Right? They responded instantly to her thoughts. She picked up a delicate electronic component from her workbench. The mechanical fingers handled it with the same care as human fingers would. Then she picked up a wrench and squeezed. The tool bent in half like it was made of soft clay. It feels powerful, she said. Over the next month, Hannah learned to use her new arm. She practiced constantly, improving her control and discovering its capabilities. The arm could interface directly with computer systems, could generate electromagnetic fields. It could produce focused energy bursts similar to Vorthok weapons. But Hannah was not satisfied with just replacing what she had lost. She began designing improvements for the entire crew. Look at this, she said to Minho, showing him blueprints for enhanced body armor. If we combine human flexibility with Vorthok energy shielding, we can create protection that is better than either species has alone. Minho studied the designs. The power requirements are enormous. How do we carry enough energy cells? We do not carry them, Hannah said. We become them. She showed him plans for cybernetic implants that could store and generate energy inside the human body. enhanced reflexes that could process information faster than normal nerves, strengthened bones that could withstand impacts that would shatter normal human skeletons. You want to turn us into cyborgs? Minho asked. I want to turn us into something the Vorthok cannot ignore, Hana replied. Sora was initially reluctant to help with the human enhancement project. These modifications are extremely risky, she warned. It could cause permanent damage to anyone who volunteers. The Vorthok already caused permanent damage, Hana said, holding up her mechanical arm. Okay. We are just evening the odds. Captain Day was the first to volunteer for enhancement. He received improved reflexes and enhanced strength. The surgery was successful, and his new capabilities were immediately apparent. He could move faster and react quicker than any normal human. Word spread through the ship quickly. The crew members began asking to be enhanced. Within 3 months, half the crew had received some form of cybernetic improvement. Hana trained them all personally. She taught them how to use their new abilities, how to maintain their enhanced equipment, how to fight like something more than human. The ship's shooting range echoed with the sound of enhanced weapons firing at practice targets. The gymnasium was filled with crew members learning to move with their improved bodies. The workshop never stopped humming with the sound of new equipment being built. The crew is ready, they reported during a staff meeting. Enhanced armor, weapons, and cybernetics for 24 volunteers. Everyone has trained extensively with their new equipment. Good, Hana said. Plot a course back to Kepler 4 to see. Are you certain we are ready? Sora asked. Okay. Still have superior numbers in technology. Hana looked at her mechanical arm. The metal fingers opened and closed smoothly. Energy coursed through the cybernetic systems. This arm was not just a replacement for what she had lost. It was an improvement. It was evolution. They called us weak, she said. They said we were primitive. They said we did not belong among the stars. She stood up from the conference table. Her enhanced crew looked at her with determination in their eyes. They had all chosen to become something more than human. They had all chosen to prove the Vorthok wrong. It is time to show them what humans can become. The New Dawn changed course and began its journey back to the planet that had rejected them. But the ship that returned would not be the same one that had fled in defeat. And the humans aboard would not be the same either. They had lost a battle. As humans, they would win the war as something greater. 1 year after their defeat, the New Dawn approached Kepler 4 to see once again. But this time, Commander Hana was not the same person who had fled in shame. Her mechanical arm gleamed in the bridge lighting as she studied the planet below. Scans complete, reported Captain Parkday, his enhanced reflexes allowing him to process data faster than any normal human. The Vorthok had built a major settlement where our mining base used to be. 12 ships in orbit, approximately 300 aliens on the surface. Hana nodded. Through the view screen, she could see the changes the Vorthok had made. Massive mining equipment dotted the landscape. Dark towers rose from the hills like metal trees. The aliens had claimed this world completely. They are mining our minerals, said Dr. Kim Sora, her voice bitter. Taking what we needed to save Earth. Not for much longer, Hana replied. Her enhanced crew of 24 volunteers stood ready in the hangar bay. Each person wore armor that combined human engineering with Vorthok technology. Their weapons hummed with alien energy. Cybernetic implants gave them strength and speed beyond normal human limits. Young engineer Choi Minho checked his equipment one final time. His enhanced vision could see details in the darkness that would be invisible to regular eyes. His strengthened bones could survive impacts that would kill an ordinary person. Remember the plan? Hana said through the communication system. We strike fast and silent, disable their communications first, then their power systems. No unnecessary killing, but do not hesitate to defend yourselves. The team boarded a stolen Vorthok shuttle that Hannah had rebuilt with human improvements. Her mechanical arm interfaced directly with the ship's controls, giving her perfect coordination. With every system as they descended toward the planet, Vorthok sensors swept over them, but the shuttle's identification codes were still valid. To the alien defenders, it looked like one of their own ships returning from patrol. Landing clearance granted, came a Vorthok voice over the radio. Proceed to landing pad 7. Hannah smiled grimly. The aliens were about to learn that appearances could be deceiving. They landed at the edge of the Vorthok base just as the planet's sun was setting. Alien guards approached the shuttle, expecting to greet their fellow warriors. Instead, they found enhanced humans moving like shadows in the twilight. The first guards fell without making a sound. Enhanced humans were faster and stronger than the Vorthok expected. What should have been an even fight became a massacre. Communications tower secured, Minho reported through his neural implant. His cybernetic systems had hacked into the alien network and uploaded a virus that Dr. Sora had designed. Within minutes, the Vorthok base was cut off from the orbital fleet. Hannah led her team toward the main power facility. Vorthok guards tried to stop them, but the humans moved like machines of war. Enhanced reflexes allowed them to dodge energy blasts. Strengthened bodies let them leap over barriers and climb walls like spiders. The power facility was heavily defended, but Hannah's mechanical arm gave her abilities the Vorthok could not match. She tore through blast doors with her bare hands. Harm generated electromagnetic pulses that disabled alien weapons. Cute energy cells built into her cybernetics-powered weapons that could penetrate Vorthok armor. Cued intruders in Sector 7 came. Frantic voices over the alien communication channels. Unknown humans with advanced technology. They are not like the ones from before. War Chief Crickstar emerged from the command center, his plasma blade already activated. He looked at Hannah, and his reptilian eyes widened with recognition. You, he hissed, is the one-armed human. You have returned to die. I have returned to collect. What you owe me, Hannah replied calmly. Crickstar noticed her mechanical arm and laughed harshly. A crude prosthetic will not save you, human. You are still weak, still primitive. The Vorthok warrior charged with the same speed that had defeated Hannah a year ago, but this time she was ready. Her enhanced reflexes tracked his movement perfectly. Her mechanical arm rose to block his plasma blade. The energy weapon that had cut through her flesh like paper now struck metal that would not yield. Sparks flew as the plasma met advanced alloys, but Hannah's arm held firm. Crickstar's eyes widened in shock. Impossible. Hannah's mechanical fingers closed around the plasma blade's handle. The Vorthok warrior tried to pull away, but her grip was stronger than his entire body. With a casual twist, she snapped the weapon in half. You said humans do not belong among the stars, she said, stepping closer to the terrified alien. Q said we were weak and primitive. Her mechanical arm moved faster than Crickstar could see. It struck him in the chest and sent him flying across the room. He crashed into a wall and slumped to the floor, barely conscious. You were wrong, Hannah said. Throughout the base, enhanced humans overwhelmed the Vorthok defenses. Captain Day led a team that captured the vehicle depot. Dr. Sora's group took control of the mining equipment. Minho and his squad secured the communication arrays. The battle that had taken hours a year ago was over in 30 minutes. Base secured, Day reported. All Vorthok forces neutralized or captured. Okay? Minimal casualties on our side. Hannah looked up at the orbital fleet through the command center windows. 12 ships hung in space above them, unaware that their ground base had fallen. Phase 1 complete, she said. Cal for the real challenge. Cal mechanical arm interfaced with the captured Vorthok systems. Codes and passwords flowed through the cybernetic connection. Within minutes, she had complete control over the base's defensive systems. She activated the planetary defense cannons and aimed them at the orbiting fleet. The first shots took the Vorthok completely by surprise. 2 ships exploded before they could raise their shields. "This is Orbital Commander Vector to ground base," came a panicked voice over the radio. "What is happening down there?" Hannah activated the communication system and spoke into the transmitter. Her voice was calm and controlled, but it carried the weight of absolute authority. "This is Commander Lee Hannah of the Human Forces," she said. "Your ground base now belongs to us. Your choice is simple. Surrender your ships or be destroyed." "Humans," Vector spat. "How did you primitive creatures capture our base?" "We learned from our mistakes," Hannah replied. "We adapted, we evolved, became something better than what we were." The orbital fleet tried to fight back, but they were at a severe disadvantage. The base's cannons were more powerful than ship-mounted weapons. Enhanced humans used, captured, Vorthok shuttles to board the alien vessels. One by one, the ships fell under human control. Enhanced warriors moved through the alien corridors like unstoppable forces. Their cybernetic systems allowed them to hack Vorthok computers. Their improved bodies let them overpower trained alien soldiers. By dawn, 11 of the 12 ships had surrendered. The last ship, commanded by Vector himself, tried to escape to hyperspace. Hannah would not let that happen. Her mechanical arm, connected to the base's most powerful cannon, she felt the weapon's targeting system like an extension of her own senses. The fleeing ship was just reaching the edge of the system when her shot found its mark. The explosion lit up the sky like a new star. "Planet secure," Captain Day reported. "All Vorthok forces eliminated or captured." Hannah stood on the command tower and looked out over the world that had rejected her. Smoke rose from the alien base that was now under human control. Captured ships sat in the spaceport like trophies of war. Her mechanical fingers flexed as she remembered the pain of losing her arm in this same place. The shame of fleeing in defeat. The long months of building something better. "Signal the new dawn," she ordered. "Begin colonist transport operations. This world belongs to humanity now." The Vorthok had made one critical mistake. They had underestimated what humans could become when they were pushed to their limits. They had thought that superior technology alone would guarantee victory. But humans did not just use technology. They improved it. They adapted it. They made it better. Hannah had lost an arm on this planet. But in building a better one, she had gained something far more valuable. She had gained a world for her people. 3 days after capturing the Vorthok base, Commander Lee Hannah stood in the alien command center, studying star charts. Her mechanical arm traced patterns across the holographic display, showing hyperspace routes that led deeper into Vorthok territory. "Intelligence reports are troubling," said Captain Parkday, entering with a data pad in his enhanced hands. The captured prisoners revealed that this was just an outpost. "The main Vorthok fleet is much larger." Hannah nodded without surprise. She had suspected as much through the interrogations. They had learned that Fleet Admiral Zothkar commanded over 200 ships from the core worlds. He was already gathering forces to retake Kepler 4 for the sea. "How long before they arrive?" she asked. 6 weeks, maybe less," Day replied. "It will bring enough firepower to turn this planet into dust." Dr. Kim Sora entered the command center carrying her latest analysis. "I have studied the captured Vorthok ships thoroughly. Their technology is impressive, but it has a critical weakness." "What kind of weakness?" Hannah asked. Her interest immediately focused. "Their systems are too standardized," Sora explained. "Every ship uses the same computer networks, the same weapon systems, the same shield generators. We could create a virus that affects one ship. It would affect them all." Hannah's mechanical fingers drummed against the control panel as she considered this information. "How long would you need to develop such a virus?" 2 weeks for basic coding. Another week for testing, Sora said. But we would need to get close enough to upload it to their main fleet. Young engineer Choi Minho had been listening from his workstation. What if we do not wait for them to come to us? What if we take the fight to them first? Everyone looked at him. The idea was bold, perhaps even crazy. Attack the main Vorthok fleet with just 11 captured ships and 24 enhanced humans. Explain your thinking, Hannah said. Minho activated a holographic display showing the Vorthok fleet positions. Their ships are gathering at the Nexus station, their main military base. They think they are safe there. They will not expect an attack from captured vessels. It would be suicide, they protested. We would be outnumbered 20-1. Numbers do not matter if their ships cannot fight back, Hannah said slowly. Her mechanical arm interfaced with the command systems, accessing detailed scans of Vorthok technology. Sora can create the right virus. We could disable their entire fleet. Over the next 2 weeks, the captured Vorthok base transformed into a hive of human activity. Dr. Soro worked with her team to develop the computer virus. Enhanced technicians modified the captured ships, improving their weapons and defenses with human innovations. Hannah spent most of her time in the ship workshops, personally overseeing every modification. Her mechanical arm could interface directly with alien computer systems, allowing her to understand Vorthok technology better than anyone else. The virus is ready, Sora announced during a briefing. We'll target their central command networks first, then spread to individual ship systems. Once uploaded, their entire fleet will be blind and helpless. Delivery method, Hannah asked. Physical contact with their main communication array, Sora replied. Someone will need to board their flagship and upload the virus directly. Someone will be me, Hannah said firmly. Captain Day objected immediately. Commander, you cannot risk yourself on such a dangerous mission. Let me lead the boarding party. My arm can interface with their systems faster than anyone else, Hannah explained. Besides, this is personal. Admiral Zothkar needs to understand what happens when you underestimate humans. The modified Vorthok fleet departed Kepler-4 for the sea under cover of darkness. 11 ships carrying 24 enhanced humans and enough firepower to challenge an empire. It was either the bravest or most foolish military operation in human history. The journey to Nexus Station took 4 days. As they approached the massive Vorthok installation, Hannah marveled at its size. The station was built into a large asteroid with docking bays that could hold hundreds of ships. Energy shields surrounded it like a glowing bubble. 230 Vorthok vessels confirmed, reported the sensor operator. All major fleet elements are present, including Admiral Zothkar's flagship. Perfect, Hannah said. All ships, maintain formation. Remember, we're supposed to be returning Vorthok forces. Act natural until we reach the station. The captured ships approached the station without raising any alarms. Vorthok traffic controllers guided them to docking bays near the center of the facility. Everything was proceeding according to plan. Boarding teams, prepare for deployment, Hannah ordered through her neural communication link. Sora, Minho, you are with me. They, take your team to the power core. Stevel their main generators on my signal. The enhanced humans moved through the station corridors like ghosts. Their cybernetic systems allowed them to hack alien security doors. Their improved reflexes let them avoid patrol guards. Within 30 minutes, they had reached their objectives. Hannah found herself outside the flagship's communication center. 2 Vorthok guards stood at the entrance, their energy rifles ready, but they were not prepared for an enemy that could move faster than their eyes could track. Her mechanical arm struck the first guard before he could raise his weapon. The second guard managed to fire 1 shot, but Hannah's enhanced reflexes allowed her to dodge the energy beam. Her cybernetic hand closed around his throat, cutting off his alarm call. Inside the communication center, massive computers processed data from across the Vorthok Empire. Hana's mechanical arm extended fiber optic cables that connected directly to the central processor. Upload beginning, she reported to her team. Sora's virus is spreading through their network now. The effect was immediate and devastating. Warning lights began flashing throughout the station. Computer screens went dark. Communication channels filled with confused voices as Vorthok systems failed one by one. Power core secured, they reported. Explosive charges are in place. All teams begin phase 2, Hana ordered. Enhanced humans emerged from hiding places throughout the station. They had been waiting for this moment, when the Vorthok defenses would be completely helpless. Now they moved like an unstoppable force. Through the corridors, Admiral Zothkar himself tried to organize a defense from the station's command center. But his weapons would not fire. His shields would not activate. His communication systems could only broadcast static when Hana entered the command center. She found the Vorthok Admiral staring in disbelief at his useless computers. Possible, he said in heavily accented English. Our technology is superior. Our fleet is invincible. Your technology is predictable, Hana replied. Your fleet is obsolete. Through the command center windows, they could see Vorthok ships drifting helplessly in space. The virus had spread to every vessel in the fleet. 230 warships, reduced to floating metal. You are just humans, Zothkar protested. Primitive creatures from a backward world. Hana's mechanical arm moved faster than the Admiral could see. Cybernetic fingers closed around his throat and lifted him off the ground. We were primitive, she said calmly. But we learned. We adapted. We became something you could never understand. She released him and activated the station's communication system. Her voice echoed through every ship in the disabled fleet. Tension. Vorthok forces. This is Commander Lee Hana of the human fleet. Your ships are now under our control. Your choice is simple. Surrender and live, or resist and die. Some ships tried to fight back with manual weapon systems, but enhanced humans were already boarding them through docking tubes and airlocks. The cybernetic warriors moved through alien corridors like machines of war, overwhelming every defense. Within 6 hours, the entire Vorthok fleet had surrendered. Admiral Zothkar knelt in his own command center, hands bound behind his back, watching his empire crumble on the main screen. How? He asked quietly. How did you defeat us so completely? Hana looked at her mechanical arm, remembering the pain of losing her original limb, the months of building something better, the determination to prove that humans could not be dismissed so easily. You made one mistake, she told him. You let me live. Captain Day approached with the final casualty reports. Station secured, Commander. All Vorthok ships captured or destroyed. We lost 3 people in the boarding actions. Hana nodded solemnly. 3 enhanced humans had died to capture an entire fleet. It was a price she regretted, but one that had been necessary. Signal all captured vessels, she ordered. Prepare for immediate departure to Kepler-4 for the sea. We have a planet to fortify. The massive fleet began its journey back to human space. Hana stood on the flagship's bridge and watched the stars. They had come, seeking one world for humanity. Instead, they had captured the key to an entire empire. The Vorthok had called humans weak and primitive. But weakness could become strength. Primitiveness could become innovation. And sometimes, losing everything was the first step to gaining everything. 6 months after the capture of the Vorthok fleet, Kepler-4 for the sea had become something unprecedented in galactic history. It's a world where 2 species that had been enemies now worked side by side, building something neither could have achieved alone. Governor Lee Hana stood on the observation deck of her administrative tower, looking out over the transformed landscape. Her mechanical arm rested against the transparent aluminum window as she watched human and Vorthok workers operating the expanded mining facilities together. The planet's capital city had grown rapidly. Human prefabricated buildings stood next. Two elegant Vorthok crystal structures. Hybrid technologies powered everything from transportation systems to communication networks. Children from the human colony played in parks, while young Vorthok hatchlings learned alongside them in integrated schools. "The Integration Progress Report, Governor," said Captain Parkday, entering with a data tablet. His enhanced reflexes had made him an excellent administrator as well as a military commander. Hannah reviewed the numbers with satisfaction. Production of rare minerals had increased by 300%. Scientific discoveries were happening weekly as human and Vorthok researchers shared knowledge. Most importantly, both species were learning to coexist peacefully. "Any problems with the new arrivals?" she asked. "Some resistance among the older Vorthok refugees," Day replied. "They still believe humans are inferior, but the younger ones adapt quickly. They see the benefits of cooperation." Dr. Kim Sora entered the office, carrying her latest research findings. The chief scientist had become fascinated with Vorthok biotechnology, just as the aliens were amazed by human cybernetic innovations. "Remarkable news from the medical center," Sora announced. "We have successfully created hybrid prosthetics that combine human neural interfaces with Vorthok regenerative tissue. Paralyzed patients are walking again. Amputees are receiving limbs that are better than their originals." Hannah looked at her own mechanical arm with new interest. "Better? How?" "Living metal that can heal itself," Sora explained. "Synthetic nerves that provide perfect sensation, strength that can be adjusted from normal human levels too far beyond. The Vorthok bioengineers say they have never seen anything like it." Through the window, Hannah could see a young engineer, Choi Minho, leading a mixed team of humans and Vorthok technicians. They were installing new defensive systems around the spaceport. The weapons used both human innovation and alien energy technology. "About the deep space monitors?" Hannah asked. "Fully operational," Day reported. "Any approaching ships will be detected days before they arrive. The orbital defense platforms are ready to protect the planet from any threat." But Hannah knew the real protection came from something more powerful than weapons. 3 months ago, representatives from 12 other alien species had visited Kepler-4 for to see. They had come expecting to find a typical conquered world. Instead, they discovered something that challenged their understanding of galactic politics. "Ambassador Veltar requests a meeting," Day continued. "He says the Galactic Council has made a decision about human membership." Veltar had been sub-commander of the original Vorthok garrison. After the human victory, he had chosen to remain on the planet rather than flee with the other defeated aliens. Over time, he had become Hannah's most trusted advisor on interstellar affairs. The Vorthok entered the office with a fluid grace typical of his species. But unlike other aliens Hannah had met, Veltar moved with obvious respect rather than fear or condescension. "Governor Hannah," he said, using the formal human greeting he had learned. "The council has reviewed the evidence of human technological advancement and social integration capabilities." "In their decision," Hannah asked. "Humanity has been granted full membership in the Galactic Federation," Veltar announced. "Moreover, Kepler-4 for to see has been designated as a Class 1 research world. Scientists from across the galaxy want to study what you have accomplished here." Sara smiled with excitement. "Think of the knowledge exchange possibilities. We could learn technologies from dozens of species, and they could learn from us," Hannah added. "Human adaptability combined with alien innovations could benefit everyone." That evening, Hannah walked through the city streets alone. Her mechanical arm moved naturally at her side, its advanced systems monitoring the environment and her health simultaneously. Citizens from both species greeted her as she passed. Human children waved enthusiastically, while Vorthok youth offered respectful nods, She stopped at the memorial plaza, where names of those lost in the original battle were carved into black stone. 3 names had been added recently for the enhanced humans who died capturing the Vorthok fleet. But beside the human names were Vorthok symbols honoring alien civilians who had died in the early conflicts. Former War Chief Krexstar approached from the shadows. The defeated alien warrior now served as head of planetary security, protecting the same humans he had once tried to kill. "Governor," he said quietly, "the evening patrol reports are complete. No security incidents." Hannah nodded. Valda Vorth, who had remained on the planet Krexstar's transformation, had been the most remarkable. The warrior who had cut off her arm now dedicated his life to protecting her people. "You seem troubled," she observed. "I have been thinking about honor," Krexstar said. "In Vorthok culture, a warrior who loses in battle brings shame to his ancestors. But you showed mercy to those who surrendered. You offered partnership instead of slavery. I do not understand this human concept." "Mercy is not weakness," Hannah explained. "It is strength that chooses not to destroy. You are more valuable as an ally than as a prisoner. The young Vorthok who are born here will grow up differently," Krexstar said. "They will think of humans as partners rather than enemies. Perhaps this is evolution." As they walked, Hannah's enhanced vision detected movement in the spaceport. Long-range sensors had identified incoming ships, but these were not military vessels. They were transport ships bringing new colonists from Earth and refugee ships carrying Vorthok families who wanted to join the integrated society. "Population report projects 5 million inhabitants within 2 years, Krexstar said, following her gaze. "Half human, half Vorthok. The first truly integrated world in galactic history." Hannah's mechanical fingers flexed as she remembered the pain of losing her original arm on this same planet. That loss had seemed like the end of everything. Instead, it had been the beginning of something unprecedented. "Signal the incoming ships," she ordered through her neural communication link. "All are welcome on Kepler 4 to see." Dr. Sora's voice came through the communication system. "Governor, we are receiving a priority message from Earth. The colonial administration wants to discuss expansion plans." Hannah smiled. Earth's leaders had finally understood what she had accomplished. One lost arm had led to the creation of a better limb. One lost battle had led to the capture of an entire fleet. One conquered planet had become the foundation for humanity's entry into galactic civilization. "Tell them we are ready to discuss new colonies," she replied. "But they will be integrated worlds, human and alien together." As the sun set over Kepler 4 to see, the lights of the growing city created a pattern of stars on the planet's surface. Human and Vorthok families gathered in their homes. Children from both species played together in the streets. Scientists worked in laboratories where impossible innovations happened daily. Captain Day joined them on the observation platform. "The Deep Space Communications Array is picking up signals from 6 different species, requesting permission to establish research stations here. Everyone wants to learn how we made this work." Minho's excited voice came through the communication. "Link, Governor, you need to see the new prototype. We have successfully created a starship engine that combines human fusion technology with Vorthok quantum mechanics. It is faster than anything either species has built before." Hannah looked up at the stars that had once seemed so distant and hostile. Now they represented infinite possibilities. Worlds where humans and aliens could work together. Technologies that neither species could develop alone. Future where diversity created strength instead of conflict. Her mechanical arm reached toward the sky, its sensors detecting radio signals from distant civilizations. Each signal represented a potential new partnership. It's a chance to prove that cooperation was more powerful than conquest. "Prepare the prototype ship for testing," she ordered. "It is time to show the galaxy what humans and aliens can accomplish. Together, the woman who had lost an arm and been called weak by alien warriors now stood as a governor of a world that had become a beacon of hope for the entire galaxy. She had not just taken their planet, she had transformed it into something better than either species could have imagined. And this was only the beginning. The stars were calling, and humanity was finally ready to answer as equals among the cosmic community.